The morning sun spilled across my freshly painted porch as I tightened the final bolt on the wheelchair. Ramp I'd spent 2 weekends building for my husband. David, he lost partial mobility last fall after a stroke, and this ramp, this simple structure was our way of keeping him dignified, independent. That same afternoon, a note appeared on our door. Violation notice, ramp does not conform to HOA guidelines. Remove within 10 days to avoid fines. I stared at it, stunned. We'd lived in this neighborhood for 6 years. I'd been to the block parties, I'd volunteered for cleanup drives. But all it took was one new neighbor to turn the whole association into watchdogs. Her name was Karen, of course it was, and she had moved in 3 doors down just 3 months ago. A freshly minted HOA board member, armed with a clipboard and a mission to beautify the neighborhood. One accessible home at a time, she rang my doorbell the next morning. I'm sure you didn't know, but all exterior modifications need approval. She said, her voice syrupy and sharp. I folded my arms. It's a medical necessity, she smirked. We all have needs. But if we start making exceptions, what's the point of rules? I closed the door in her face. The next few days she doubled down. Photos of my ramp were posted in the community WhatsApp group with captions like sad to see rules ignored, so publicly a petition started circulating. Some neighbors even began whispering at the mailbox. I filed for a reasonable accommodation under the Fair Housing Act. She rejected it, citing aesthetic disruption. Big mistake. I pulled out an old black folder from my office. Inside were printouts, scanned letters, and congressional stamps. You see, I'm not just David's wife. I'm also Laura Mendelson, civil rights attorney. And 15 years ago, I helped write the ADA Amendments Act. I didn't just know the law. I built it. So I filed a formal complaint with HU attached every detail and copied the entire HOA board. 2 weeks later, federal investigators came knocking not on my door, but on Karen's. The HOA was hit with a full-scale compliance audit. Every discriminatory clause in their CC and RS flagged. Every ignored accommodation request from the past 5 years dug up. Fines started rolling in, and Karen? She resigned from the HOA before the next board meeting. Her clipboard nowhere in sight. A month later, I got another letter. But this one was hand-delivered by a new HOA president. We're sorry, we were wrong. The ramp stays. And we'd like your help rewriting our accessibility policies. I smiled and invited them in for coffee. As they walked up the ramp, I couldn't help but say, funny how fast things change once someone reminds you who wrote the damn rules. Mic drop.